Thank you so much, everyone, for coming out. Team Kenya taking on Team Namibia. And this is how Kenya present themselves today at number 1.
Welcome back to the Nelson Mandela Stadium, and it is the third place playoff, the unlikely third place playoff between Kenya and Namibia. These two nations contested the final 2 years ago in France, in the city of Marseille. But as rugby can be so unpredictable, the teams that were highly favored to make the finals this time round are going to be contesting for the bronze medal match. Kenya particularly coming to this game with 12 changes made by their coach Kawowo, and of course that tells you a lot about maybe in many ways what his plans are for this game. With 12 changes made in the game, only 3 players retaining their place from the semi-final, and that of course means that it's going to be another good opportunity for the fringe players to prove themselves. For Namibia, on the other hand, only 4 changes made from the team that lost to Zimbabwe in the semi-final on Wednesday afternoon. And of course, their coach, Zea Alistair, has every design on making sure that his team walks away with the bronze medal here at the Nelson Mandela Stadium. The last time these two sides met in the final in Marseille, like I pointed out 2 years ago, 2022, Namibia ran away 36-0 winners. Can they repeat that? Time can only tell. John Vianney Simbe calling this game, and alongside me in the commentary booth is Ruben Kihumuro. Ruben, this should be the final that was never to be.
Yeah, definitely. Beginning of this tournament, everyone thought this was going to be the final. But interestingly, it is a bronze game. 3rd and 4th placement playoff. And we're yet to see, of course, Jerome Kawowo for Kenya intentionally making changes there just to see how we can switch up the team and give a lot of players a chance to prove that they have what it takes, especially with next year coming up. Namibia also having a bevy of very many young kids that are trying to prove themselves and trying to make sure that they get into that final World Cup qualifying team for next year as well. So a lot at stake to play for on top of the rankings for this particular tournament.
Of course, Namibia ranked number 23 in the world, won the World Cup in 2023 in France. So they carry bundles of experience, while Kenya, on the other hand, came into this tournament ranked number 34. But like we've seen already, Zimbabwe, who are ranked number 30, beat Namibia. Quite comprehensive that result was for Zimbabwe. Kenya should have the belief that maybe also their fringe players can prove otherwise. But Namibia already on the ascendancy here in a game that has been delayed to kick off because of the 5th place playoff game that was between Uganda and Senegal. Hotly contested game, being won following a sudden death penalty scored by Uganda's Aredo Joseph for Uganda to win 34-31. And Namibia have an opportunity to draw first blood here at the Nelson Mandela Stadium with a penalty coming their way soon after kickoff, just 1.5 minutes already. And Namibia have decided to go for the pause. Quite interesting that they could have chosen another option, but they've decided to just go for and get those early points.
Yeah, it's in games like this, it's very important to get the early points, get something on the scoreboard and motivate the team to go forward. And they know that Kenya is not a very easy team, so they also respect them. So sometimes you get the easy points, go back, regroup, and then come and play again.
Opportunity for Namibia here to take the penalty. Can they split the balls? Yes, and that is duly done, and Namibia lead already 3-0 in this encounter. A kind of outcome that definitely is bound to ease the pressure as penalty was executed right there. As you can see the replay.
Yeah, brilliant focus there. And just slicing the posts to score the first one. And now Kenya needs to respond. They need to make sure that Namibia doesn't pile up the points and extend the tally. They need to score next.
And of course, with Kenya making all the 12 changes, I don't know for the fans down in Nairobi, Kisumu, Nakuru, wherever they're watching this game from, I don't know whether there's a sense of utmost belief that this team can actually challenge a really stronger Namibian side.
Yeah, the Kenyans are a very proud group. Regardless of who they put on the pitch, they believe that they can win the game. And they will be heavily coming into this game also believing that they can get the victory.
Get up, Peter, shot 14. Been live wire for Kenya, and then they get that opportunity to break the lines. But then there appears to have been a knock-on by Kenya's prop here. Was it actually a lock? Shot number 4. So okay, so it's going to be ball to Namibia, and it's going to be a scrum down after Ongera Okeo. Timothy just knocked on the ball there as he tried to break the lines. Already medical attention needed for a Namibia player. That is shot number 1. Zidarius needed a bit of a spray on that ankle.
Injury break.
The two sets of players prepare for the scrum down here.
Team Namibia.
Team Namibia's shot number 6, Peter Diergaard, got the first points on the board. The referee not happy about how the scrum is being set up here, so calls on the players to reset. Hotly contested game this one is expected to be, and of course fitting in with the weather that is quite scorching at the same time. Good play by Namibia there, kick for territory, and that was Denzel Brewer, who is one of the starters in this game that missed the semi-final.
Yeah, miscalculated kick there by Kenya. Those are mistakes they can't afford to make. You can't give possession back to Namibia in such a very, very enticing territory. Trying to go for the space and ideally kicking it straight into touch. That brings them back inside the Kenya half, and it's going to be Namibia with the ascendancy. And they have actually lost their line out. So you could say credit to Kenya for the counter reaction to that.
You expect that Kenya, with the size as well, will inevitably be giving Namibia some hell of a time here, as you can see here how they are trying to secure the racks, putting every force in it, every energy. Kenya will be kicking for territory, as is done by Barry Robinson. All is well received by Namibia's Jacobs Lloyd. Then the whistle goes. I guess there was some illegal play here, so the ball is returned to Kenyan side.
They have an opportunity to find touch, but it's a very tight angle. It will take, and yeah, just as I said, they don't find touch.
As they wanted. Namibia come again, very good flow here, coming in. Theron Jacks finds shot number 13, Alchino Isaacs breaks the lines, is Boyson Adrian, and Namibia trying to build some bit of momentum here. But Kenya turn over the ball. Following Diergaard Peter of Namibia being stripped of it. Kenya now trying to build. Wanjala Michael, the scrum half, finds his colleague Ongera Okeo a lock. Then again, Gara Michael, and then it's a penalty for a high tackle on a Kenyan player. Penalty to Kenya, but that tackle was on Ongera Okeo. Kenya would most probably be going for touch here. They'll be playing for territory. executed by Barry Robinson. So it's going to be a line out for Kenya as Mosila Mbugua, the hooker, sets himself here for the line out. These are going to be very critical, and Namibia make a steal of it. That's good play by Namibia in denying Kenya the advantage, and there is diving in there by the Kenyans, and so it's going to be a penalty to Namibia.
Yeah, no one is outrightly controlling possession at the moment from both sides. Both teams have stolen the other's line out as well, as of course we are seeing one of the players down, but Namibia just having the narrow advantage of the 3 points, but really it's still a very, very open game.
Yeah, Obert Noche of Namibia, the hooker, has suffered a bit of an injury here, as he will need a bit of extra medical attention, as the weight of the Kenyans just came down on him here.
Well, for you who's a little bit confused with the colors,
the Namibian fans will be hoping that he is able to recover well. You don't want to lose your starting hooker very early in the game like this. That means that you have to bring in your specialist cover for hook, and who can also be susceptible to injury, and without you having any cover for, let's say, about 72 minutes to play. That is risky business, plus the fatigue that comes with it. I don't think that's something that the Namibians will be very excited about.
Obert Noche seems to have recovered and is back on his feet, but already has his thigh strapped, so only implies that he came into this game with a bit of a knock.
Yeah, it's been 10 days, 3 match days, and just an interval of like 2 to 3 days between the games. So it has been quite, your body has been tasked to recover quickly, and credit to these athletes, they are able to do that, but of course, being a human body does take a toll on them as well.
Namibia building up here as Ligat Peter is held up by the Kenyan defense here. So it is knock on by the Namibians, so it's ball to Kenya.
Ball was held in. Good defense there, more defense by the Kenyans that held the ball in and made sure it was unplayable. And that means advantage went to Kenya. Namibia unable to use the ball.
It's quite interesting how the referee is able to see the movement of the ball in that kind of melee as we see it there, and makes up his mind that it is a no-call.
Definitely, a team is given about 5 seconds or so to use the ball, and what Kenya did there was hold the man up and make sure he doesn't dump his knees on the ground, and make sure that the ball is also unplayable, and Kenya were able to recover possession.
Good kick there coming in now from Kenya's Mandela Michael.
Actually, it's a bit overcooked as well. Second time Kenya is doing that, and it's going to be back to the position where the kick was taken.
The bronze medal game. Running slightly behind
11
time,
minutes.
but we will play all 80. Nevertheless, I'm spirit would love to recognize NBS Sports, the official broadcaster of Rugby Africa 2024.
Namibia.
Thank you so much. If you have seen Joe Chingozi is already in the building to represent. Thank you, Joe Chingozi.
Very good execution
official
from Namibia
broadcaster,
there.
Rugby Africa
Boyson Adrian
2024.
gets the ball, picks it up now. It's at number Theron Jacques. Namibia continuing to pile on the pressure, continuing to build up. As of course, Theron Jacques, scrum half, now onto the outside to find the fullback, Neil JC. Picks the ball again, and now it is the flyer Denzel Brewer. The turnover good by Team Kenya. And the ball is dropped there by Kenya's shot number 14, Ogeta Peter. Seem to have lost it, but then Kenya recover quite well as the momentum continues to build. Mosila Mbugua picks it up, played back. Kenya, each time they try to make inroads, they're broken back, but then they now got some bit of freeway as the run is made in there on the right now. Ball given it to Angela Michael. Can he be stopped? He's tackled there. Brilliant tackle coming in from shot 15. Neil JC of Namibia as he stopped the Kenyans now. Kenya, can they really get that ball over the line? And yes, they indeed do that. And that's going to be A try for Kenya. Ogeta Peter makes it 4 tries in the Africa Rugby Cup. What a player he has proven to be for Kenya.
Yeah, definitely. What a player there, Bildad Ogeta. Now setting himself apart as the top try scorer in the Rugby Africa Cup. But you can just see from the turnover there, and then it is of course Alfred Orege, and then who moves the ball out wide, and then Bildad Ogeta finishes. It's a full-length strike. Credit to Alfred Orege that started it, and then of course Michael Wanjala, and then the ball goes out to the finisher that has been manifested in Bildad Ogeta for this 2024 Rugby Africa Cup.
Yeah, Ogeta proving to be one of the best players in this tournament already, as Kenya prepare to add the extras through their number 10, Wesonga Abdallah, the fly half. Can he split those balls? The ball is in such difficult angle, I must admit, and clearly it wasn't always going to be easy for him to get that ball between the poles.
Yeah, kicking percentages haven't been really the best at the Rugby Africa Cup. Many of the kicks have not been converted, and you should say on average we're looking at about 45 to 50% in conversion rate.
Yeah.
Many would say that's 1 out of 2, and it's not bad, but when you're looking at the tight margins and those definitive moments, you need your kickers to really be above 75.
Absolutely. 5-3 Kenya lead with 14 minutes played.
I think a deflated ball or something. The referee deems that ball is not worthy of play at that level of rugby and calls for another one.
And Namibia will get us underway here through Denzel Brewer. Kenya received the ball quite well. They tried to make some strides in. They were held back by Namibia, who are unrelenting here, and then the kick coming in from Wesonga Abdallah. But the ball just doesn't find touch. It's now Brewer for Namibia. Kicks for territory, makes the chase. The ball is received by Kenya, and again, the fullback, Barry Robinson this time. It's going to be a kicking game, it appears, Ruben. The two teams just do not want to play in their area.
Yeah, of course, the conditions are hot, so many of the efforts will be played through kicking, because teams don't want to exert a lot of energy in their own half, especially in this heat. They want to make sure that they put the ball in the right territory, and then that's when they can play. But first, you don't want to give the other team an opportunity of defending you or countering you in your own half.
And already, whistle has gone. We'll watch a replay, the ball being received there by Theron Jacques of Namibia. Wonder whether there's still a problem with the ball that has been brought on now.
Referee, they are looking for the right mark, and Namibia choosing to go for another shot at goal. Of course, Kenya having scored the 5-point and not converting, Namibia have to get the attempt to perhaps add the 3 points and go back ahead. This game looks like it's going to be contested. We're yet to confirm what the referee called in that regard, but I think there was an advantage that was not deemed success. Actually, I think it is a case of offside. You know, in this kicking game, there is supposed to be a certain effort that the forwards are supposed to exert when they are moving to show that they're actually not offside. So I think the Kenyan forwards did not do that, and as of course Namibia go back ahead, 1 point to the advantage. But yeah, the Kenyan forwards just not moving to the satisfaction of the referee and giving out that penalty that comes from fielding and finding out that in that particular zone where the ball has been kicked from, the forwards have not really exerted or shown that they are trying to track back to be onside.
Penalty.
Denzel Brewer scores the second penalty for Namibia. Still a game of fine margins.
Bronze medal match.
Now, again, play stops because it appears like Namibia's shot number 5, Ludik Ruan, had stepped on the line.
Yep.
So it's going to be a line out for Kenya.
Yes, advantage to Kenya. The ball receiver just stepped on the line while he was receiving the ball, and it's good fortune for the Kenyans. Can they be able to get the points, starting with this maul.
It's going to be a huge contest there as Kenya try to get back Namibia in the maul, but Namibia don't seem to be flinching here as they can't move as Kenya keep the ball. Wanjala Michael now. Kenya again, you can see as Adaka Gesa, Wanjala again finds mate Bart Kuke. Continuing to build up. Bart Kuke again. Turning it to the battering ram, and then of course Musila Mbugua. Kenya secure the rock here. Wanjala Michael takes the ball back infield.
Tackler not rolling away there. Referee saying that ball is able to be played.
And you can see how aggressive the Namibians are on that pressure defense, as now they try to stop on Gerald KL, the lock of Kenya. Kenya again trying to find the gap, and that was some very good dummy by Adaka Gesa, but it was held back and the ball is turned over by Namibia. That was brilliant play by Namibia, but now Kenya. Yeah, and it's a knock-on in the process as Kenya wanted try to retrieve the ball there.
Yeah, definitely. They have the pressure that the Kenyans are putting on. They are sure that, of course, with the way the score is, they need to be the ones to put the next point on board. It's very, very important for them, especially with a team as competitive as Namibia, that they need to stay relevant on the scoreboard. So you can't afford to allow Namibia to score twice before you've even put any points on board. Very, very intent, but unfortunately in this regard, they lose that advantage.
Coming your way as Algeria takes on Zimbabwe. David, what's the capital city of Algeria? Algiers.
The referee has a word with the two sets of players here.
Which one do you think?
Yeah, this referee is giving the impression that his attention to detail is very key. Earlier on, we saw him not buying the milking that the scrum half was trying to do when it came to tackler not rolling away, saying that you can use the ball, it's visible. And in this case, also making sure that the scrums are up to standard and up to dot.
That was a very heavy and effective kick for the Namibians. But Kenya is able to keep it on and keep it alive, and then they make that darting run there on, and that is Obonyo Orege. Now it is the fullback, Barry Robinson, now held in a chokehold there. The Namibians won't allow him to get his knees on the ground. The Kenyans come in to support their mate here, to try and see that they do not lose this ball, and do a good job there. But the referee's whistle goes, and there is
In Uganda, they call that Kawowo.
Yeah, it's a case of an infringement there by Kenya, who tried to carry the ball and this time got a test of their own medicine. Earlier on, they had held the Namibian player up, and now they also have a Kenyan player held up. And in this case, when the ball goes down, ball is not playable, and also not allowing Namibia to exert on the turnover, hence the penalty.
Penalty to Namibia, and they are going to go for the poles again. Very interesting, but also very daring these Namibians are proving to be. And of course, the man who has scored their previous two penalties, Denzel Brewer.
Yeah, of course.
The opportunity to make it 9 points.
Yeah, Namibia is very intent about taking the easy points, not trying to force anything with the lineouts and the tap and go. And the advantage of this is even if you kick and you miss, Kenya still kicks back to you. So they aren't really worried, and also they believe they have a good kicker. I think this is his first miss. That's one out. That is out of 3-2 put in, and then one missed. But he is one that has a good strike on him, a good boot on him. So I'm sure they're going to go to him a lot more.
Score remains 6-5. Namibia leading with half of the first half already played, with very little to separate the two sides.
22-meter dropout there by Kenya. Interesting to see if they're going to go for the short one to try and contest and gather, or they're going to go for the long one, focusing on territory.
I guess it's one that really allows them an opportunity to contest there. It is a penalty to Namibia
for not supporting body weight.
Yeah, the Kenyan player not supporting his body weight while going in for the turnover, and it's an advantage for Namibia. Penalty there. Interesting decisions. What will they do in this particular scenario? Yet again, they look like they're going to go for poles. Very intent about how they want to play. They want to keep the scoreboard ticking. They want to get as many points as they can. They want to build the score, and they don't want to force anything in this particular game. They are letting the game come to them, and they are not trying to force their hand.
We'll talk about a team that doesn't want to take many risks, and Namibia is showing that they will take whatever they can get, and they're not going to take many risks here, because I'm sure that many teams will think that at this point, why not just continue with the pick and drives? But Namibia not ready to exert so much as they go for another penalty, and this time it's successful. 3 out of 4. That is 9 points Namibia, 5 to Kenya.
Enzo Brewer.
So I guess it is a situation that the Namibians prepared for quite up.
Yeah, definitely. Enzo Brewer has a good boot on him. Good direction, good distance, keeps his head down as he's kicking. Focus, he does not change his trajectory, and as you can see, splitting the posts, and they're getting yet another score for Namibia, making his tally 3 out of 4 so far in this game. And yeah, the Namibians now have the lead, 4 points to the good.
Earlier winning the playoff for 7th and 8th against Burkina.
Back for territory.
Burkina getting the wooden spoon. But still, the quality of rugby on show has been fantastic
Kenya.
over the 3 game days, over the last 10 days.
The pressure
we want to thank
inevitably
everyone who's
on them, and
participated
they've
to
got to
make
make
this
sure that they win this
line
line
out
out.
of what
Definitely,
can
it's
put
very
together
important for them to win this. They
They
have seen that every time they concede possession and they concede a penalty, they are punished. So they need to win, as their line out is stolen.
That's a good play by Namibia as they continue to pile on the pressure. Vaga, Danko, and now opening, and then there's a bit of a knock. I know that came off the foot, and whether it will be a judge as that. So Kenya retrieve the ball.
Yeah,
He's on the pressure.
Quiron Majet there really is not the usual custom of knocking the ball on, or at least losing it in the handles, but unfortunately in this regard, not a dependable customer.
So knock on in favor of Kenya this time. The referee doesn't forget, does he?
Definitely. But you can just see there, putting him out there, but I think taking his eyes off the ball a little bit, and
that's where he
possession back with Kenya.
It's going to be a scrummage here. In favor of Kenya.
Scrum down Kenya, no advantage.
Some
from
really
that,
tight moments for these two teams in the
still a
scrummage.
number, so only 4 points in it. Still first half, Kenya in red, Namibia in blue. Namibia, of course, have been to the World Cup
Kenya ball
almost
picked up
5
quite
times
well
since
by
1999, made it every time.
Iti Musonye,
And we'll have the World Cup qualifiers next year, so
kicking for territory, and
This
that is Barry Robinson.
it's preparation.
Picked up by Majet Quiron of Namibia, and it's now Nel JC. The opening up on the far side, and the kicking on, and Namibia going in, but this time you get a feeling that Kenya's number 9 is in time. Wanjala Michael picks it up. Is it on the outside to find a teammate? That is Obonyo Orege. It's held back, and Kenya still protect the ball, the rock, and now it's the big man there, Ongera Okeyo. Stopped in his tracks though by Namibia. And now, almost losing the ball was Wesonga Abdallah of Kenya. But they are able to really kick it for territory back in the hands of Namibia, and it's Brewer now for Kenya, rather for Namibia.
Yeah, Kenya inviting a lot of
High
pressure on
quality
themselves.
rugby, you'll not get
And
anywhere.
the Namibians also making sure that they are piling on all the intensity there. Even with the press, they are not allowing Kenya to kick the ball out comfortably, so it always goes back to their hands, and now they get to play yet again.
Beautiful play by the Namibians, and it's now shot number 6, and he opens up on the far side and start 14. Majed Quiron makes it his third try at the Africa Rugby Cup. That was beautiful play by the Namibians, and that is 14 points on the board. But what an exhilarating piece of attack that was from the Namibians in opening up the Kenyan defense and finding the man there, Majed Quiron, unmarked, unchallenged, and what an easy try that proved to be a good play.
Yeah, definitely. This is the kind of stuff that coaches show during trainings of youngsters. That is how you commit and pass, and that is the Quiron Majed we know, not the one that previously knocked the ball on, but this one that holds, gathers, and focuses on finishing.
And it will be an opportunity for Denzel Brewer, who has already scored 3 times from 4 off his boot. Can he make it 4 of 5?
Very confident kicker.
Oh yeah, and that's beautifully
Amazing.
done. Now 16 for Namibia.
Extends the scoreboard.
Denzel Brewer, what a man, what a man, what a kick.
5 for Kenya, still first half.
Good play for Namibia
Lots
now,
of action still left.
creating that gap between themselves and Kenya. That 11-point gap.
He runs away from the crime
It's all
scene
to do
before
for
even
Kenya.
committing the
Yeah, and that is what we talked about with Namibia, not panicking, letting the game come to them. When they got the points, take the easy points, and then when the gaps open up finally, then you score the try. Really not forcing the game, and you can see how it has really come full circle for them.
Definitely. And again, a good steal there by Namibia, and it's Jacobs Lloyd playing the ball back, but then a bit of miscommunication, must point out, and Digat picks it out, finds his mate Max Katjetko, and Namibia, you know, flying in like bees on the Kenyans. Brewer, now 13, Alchino Isaacs, and now Neil JC, but then there's a bit of miss-up there for the Namibians, but they still keep Kenya at bay as they try to turn over that ball.
Yeah, a bit of handling issues there by Namibia. You thought that perhaps they could have gathered that one, but giving Kenya another chance. But although Kenya almost being blocked,
Exactly.
actually they were blocked, but
yeah.
that can ricochet and go anywhere, and it could result into trouble.
From Namibia.
The Namibians there, of
Yeah,
course,
they are into the
Alistair
score.
Coetzee, the coach, observing.
Game will restart with a
Here,
scrum because
he'll
Kenya
have, of
carried
course,
the ball
one
up
mind
into
here,
the
making sure that he finishes third. That is,
try area before
of
it
course,
was
a goal.
turned down
But the
by
other
number
mind
9.
is on who impresses him from this particular team to join
Right,
the
wrong.
rest of his seniors that are not part of
Media
this
with a
team
platform
to
to
make
try
next
and
year's
add to the
World Cup
scores.
qualifying team.
They did
Alistair
lose
Coetzee is a
against
former South
Zimbabwe
Africa
earlier.
coach as well.
Yeah,
The
wealth of experience.
Springboks.
Yes.
So they're
He's
looking to make
been
amends
to the World Cup
and make a
before as well.
statement.
So he's
Unfortunately, Kenya is the paper that they are writing
quite
the
the
statement
master
on.
of the game, must point out,
Fortunate enough for
with enormous knowledge. And it's a scrum down for Namibia. Theron Jacques
big thank you to our sponsors. Special
gets the ball. And again, Namibia, they're really trying to open up this Kenyan side. And they do a good job at the rack there. But then there is a penalty there as for Namibia. I think they're going to go for pause here after what Kenya just did there, or they're going to try and push for,
India go quickly.
and they do it fast there, and Namibia evading tacklers there, and that's going to be a try.
Catch Kenya.
Shot number 11 for Namibia, Jacobs Lloyd completes the move. That was expert play by the Namibians, who mean business, not the team that we saw crumble against Zimbabwe in midweek.
Yeah, definitely. They are great. As you can see, quick start, catching the Kenyan slipping. Poor attitude from Kenya. You do not show your back, especially in those moments. Great awareness, the quick tap and go, and then the step, beating 1, beating 2, beating 3. Lazy tackles there by the Kenyans, and it is a try for Namibia, who extend their lead. But great awareness there. Just observing that the Kenyans were showing their backs and not necessarily paying attention to the point of contact where the ball was, and the quick start, the ball goes out wide, and the finisher. What a finish that was.
How could have easily also been a penalty try if you saw the last tackle being made by the Kenyan on Namibia's Jacobs Lloyd. It was a neck tackle. Just feel that maybe the referee was quite lenient, as now an opportunity for the extras, and it is Brewer. Yes, and it's conversion good.
Team Namibia!
It's now 23 points to Namibia.
His maker up there.
Namibia really giving out a rugby clinic right now, showing all facets of their game, the awareness, the perfect kicking, and just the try-scoring ability and awareness. It's just impressive to see from Namibia. Definitely an improvement from match day 2.
Well, but Ruben, do you feel that maybe if Kenya had fielded their full-strength squad, it would have been a totally different ball game at this point?
Perhaps, but well, if we would base on wishes, then perhaps we would just be in fantasy land. But this is the team that has come to play today, and this is the team that Jerome Pawota deemed as fit to play for to play against Namibia. Keeping in mind, he knows it is either finish 3rd or 4th, so he trusted these men, and he thinks that they can get the job done. So I think that it is the best that he had at the moment.
Or maybe he just didn't feel that finishing 3rd or 4th would make a huge difference to his future plans.
Perhaps.
So it's more of giving everybody a run out to see how they apply themselves. As, Namibia continue to control matters here. Big collection there from Kenya's number 6, Juma Clinton. Well, compared to what the result was 2 years ago when the South Africa Cup was played in Marseille, France, it was 36-0 for Namibia. This time it's 23-5, so maybe there's an improvement from Kenya already.
Yeah, there is definitely an improvement, but then again, we're still in the first half and it's 23-5, so we don't know what could happen with the rest of the time that we have, as it's a penalty there for Namibia. A player yet not supporting their body weight while trying to go for the jackal, and it's another penalty and another time for Denzel Brewer to point to the post.
Well, this one seems to be quite a distance away, but the fact that he's determined to take the kick from this distance, it just tells you just how good he is a kicker. That is Denzel Brewer.
Yeah, that's about 45 meters on the angle also, and this is definitely his hardest kick of the day so far. Yet to see if he can be able to convert this one as well. He has been impressive, 4 out of 5, but can he add this one to his repertoire of very good kicks on the day?
It's going to be a huge test for him. If he can just execute it, and here he goes, and yes, it's
amazing.
Good. Brilliant.
Denzel Brewer, ladies and gentlemen, what a kick.
That is some quality from Namibia's number 10.
Please take out your pens and papers.
This is also, look at that distance on the angle, and the ball does not even swerve one bit, and straight with the distance, with the direction, and having even some more in case the posts were pushed a little bit further. Namibia making sure that Kenya is not in this game whatsoever.
Go to Kawowo Sports.
It's now 26-5, Namibia running away with this one, and then there's a knock-on from Kenya fast, and then but then the referee allows play to continue, and it's penalty to Kenya. Now Wanjala Michael breaks into Namibian territory, getting into the 22 now. Kenya seem to have lost that thrust of pace that they've been playing with in previous games, and I guess that scoreline is the kind that would cause despondency.
Yeah, good fortune for Kenya now, as tackler not rolling away by the Namibians, and it's going to be advantage now for the Kenyans. They, of course, are trailing heavily, 21 points on the deficit. And this is an opportunity for them to perhaps chip on that big lead with, of course, 4 minutes to go in the first half. The Namibians really in full dominance, but Kenya have the opportunity to get some more points on board and maybe reignite a comeback. We did see Uganda, Zimbabwe, which was 22-0 in the first half, in 22-20, but still in favor of Zimbabwe. But that should be an encouraging factor that anything is possible in the Rugby Africa Cup.
Oh, and he misses.
He misses it while I was trying to...
I thought that should have been an easy one.
Yeah, I was trying to be inspirational here, but unfortunately, he was not buying my inspiration and misses yet another one. Unfortunate there for the Kenyans. They really look like they have lost the plot a little bit. They need to regather their minds, most especially.
Yeah, Wesong Abdallah should not be missing from that range.
Yeah, they can't afford to miss such chances, especially when Namibia is proving to be at their most lethal and most efficient.
Well, the kicks by Denzo Brewer of Namibia just remind me of South Africa's Andre Pollard in that World Cup final against New Zealand. His kicks, it didn't matter what position they were in or what angle, he just split the balls.
Making sure the
seems like there's an injury there to a Namibian player, so he will be replaced. That is Theron Jacques. Seems like he took a knock to the head, so he's being replaced by Blau Owela, shot 23. I don't know whether it is simply a temporary decision or it's going to be permanently the case.
Yeah, good turnover there, penalty to Kenya. Interesting to see what decision they go for. This is about 40 meters also on the angle, but they choose to go for the line out. Very, very good touch there, just creeping close to the 5-meter mark. And this is one of those rare occasions in this particular first half where they get to perhaps express themselves in attack. They've been doing a lot of defending, and Namibia with the dominance, but now Kenya get to do something with the ball.
Getting the ball now is Kenya's Mbugua. Work there, Michael Wanjala finds Njuguna Edward, the loose head probe. Number 7 of Bat Kuke of Kenya, held back by Namibia, but then
ball lost there by the Kenyans, and it's a counter.
And splitting the defense line, very good play there by the Namibians. Shot number 11 goes in for the run. Jacobs-Lloyd held back a bit, but still Namibia will have the ball. Kenya tackling, getting back into position, but can they stop this surge by the Namibians now? Denzo, and that looks like a forward pass. Clearly looked like a forward pass as Denzo tried to find Jacobs-Lloyd.
Yeah, good scramble defense there by Kenya. They were caught on the counter, caught unawares, but they were able to come back and defend. And that forward pass just killed off what was a great sequence of attacking rugby from Namibia.
There's going to be a scrum down here for Kenya with about a minute to play in this first half. Player substituted by Namibia was the left-sided centre, Bagadango,
rugby should be displayed on
replaced by 23, Lau Owela.
Kenya makes some noise! Team Namibia makes some noise!
Although they're still trailing by
Team Uganda makes some noise! Team Senegal makes some noise! All the ladies are cheering for Senegal.
Discretion time as Kenya's Barry Robinson kicks for territory. Not that Denzo will hesitate to kick right back. It's picked up by Kenya's Barry Robinson. Kicks for territory here, make the chase for it. Can they close down the Namibians in time? And no. Majed Quiron got one of Namibia's tries, and actually only tried, second try in this game. The hood goes there as an indication that the first half should be coming to a close, and then there's another knock on by Kenya's titan, Will Height Mususi. Bit of concentration problems for the Kenyans as Namibia will probably want to end the first half on a high, but not in that manner, as there is a knock-on. And that marks the end of the first half. That has been quite interesting and ends at an interesting point following Shikufa Haitemo's knock-on of Namibia, but not that it will matter as Namibia lead 26-5. And we're going to take a short break here. And in 10 minutes, we'll be back as we continue to bring you the Africa Rugby Cup third place playoffs live from the Nelson Mandela Stadium here in Namboole, Kampala.
Yes, as we go into halftime,
what a game it has turned out to be, especially for Namibia, who are running right here. We'll take a break and we'll be back here on NBS Sport and Kawowo Sport. We'll bring you this live broadcast of the Africa Rugby Cup.
They do have many. And
yeah, you're right.
Thanking you for coming up in big numbers.
David, a quick one to our sponsors. Now special, obviously. We want to thank Namboole for having us today. Would you believe in your lifetime you would have a rugby game on Namboole Stadium? Namboole, make some noise. Thank you so much. We want to give a big thank you to our broadcasters, NBS Sports channel 377 on DSTV, and obviously Kawowo Sport. Thank you so much for broadcasting rugby and making sure everybody else in the world can have a glimpse of what we are doing in here. All right. Shout out to what's that about? Resori Mineral Water. Thank you for being with us. MTN Momo, MTN Momo. We have MTN Momo in the building tonight. Yeah. And please tell somebody, if they haven't yet paid the interest fee, you can have a discounted fee on MTN Momo. Yes, Momo, by the way, stands for mobile money, not mother something. Okay. DJ Richmaya, do you have anything for us? Okay. All right. In a special one, I'd love to big up to the Namwisos in the building tonight. Make some Namwiso films. Yeah. You're the reason I pay my DSTV, not football. obviously. Kenya, they've just got to put up in red colors. Red and white.
Green. The team in green. Match officials. Referee. Man in the middle.
Welcome back to the Nelson Mandela Stadium. It is the final half.
Assisted by
This third and fourth place playoff between Namibia and Kenya. Two teams that contested the final 2 years ago. Now we are fighting for the bronze medal as Kenya is about to get us underway as Abdallah Wesonga gets us underway here as Kenya trail 5-26 to Namibia, and the ball is already in hand of the Namibians. John Vianney Simbe calling this game, and alongside me is Ruben Kihumuro. Expect any major turnaround in this second half from what we saw in the first half?
Well, anything is possible in sport, but Namibia is not your usual customer, so it's interesting. But the one thing I'd like to see change in this second half is Kenya's attitude. I think in the first half, they were really, they didn't have that energy in them, and so many things that could have been done better from just a mental and a resolve standpoint.
Yeah.
Even sometimes it all starts with just that mentality of wanting something.
Badly.
They didn't look like they wanted it as much as Namibia did.
And that's very good play coming in from the Kenyans between Obonyo Orege and Adaka, Richel Wanjira here. Continue to find each other quite smoothly here. The Kenyans gaining territory, and that burst of energy that is being showcased there by Mukamiti Musonye, and they get closer now, and that is Musila Mbugua held back, but can they stop on Sando? Kenya getting closer to the try line. Are they about to pick their second try? And definitely Ongera Okeo.
Starting like a house on fire.
And that is exactly the attitude we were talking about that Kenya needs to come with, intent and hunger, and that is exactly what they needed to do, scoring the early try, and now if they can convert, they are well on their way to really giving us a good game and making sure that they take the game to Namibia and perhaps maybe make a very amazing comeback.
Yeah, and of course a possibility for extra time like we saw in the earlier game between Uganda and Senegal.
Yeah, it was quite a pulsating game. Extra time, then a sudden death.
Yeah.
Yeah, not easy on people's hearts, especially if you are supporting either side.
Oh yeah, definitely. As we saw Abdallah this time converts and gets Kenya to 12. And they are 14 points away from Namibia. Such a big gap it remains. And Kenya will definitely have to put up a performance like never before if they are to close the gap on this Namibian side that has looked good from what we've seen in the
Kenya at the 2.
Yeah, Kenya definitely needs to come into this second half just like they did, but maintain that pressure, maintain that momentum, not take their foot off the gas.
Ball well received by Kenya's Juma Clinton. They do well on the rock. Mbugua now. The hooker. Michael Wanjala. Kenya swinging it. Abdallah. Now shot number 8. Mukamiti Musonye. Kenya playing a lot more purpose and energy here in the second half. A lot of urgency, and now it's Ongera. Okay, who just got their second try short while ago. And Kenya doing a good job with that passing game. That's not something we could have easily said in the first half, but now you can see that there is more intent, more organization. And now they lose the ball, but that would be a knock-on by Namibia's Jacob Sloyd.
I guess there was a penalty advantage, offside for shot number 3, Namibia, so it's a penalty there for Kenya, despite making a mistake with their handling. They get let off the hook there, and it's an opportunity for them to perhaps get some extra meters. Barry Robson.
They'll definitely be looking to get the ball into the 22, but couldn't get it there.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, it's into enemy territory significantly, and that should be really positive for Kenya as Mbugua prepares to execute the line out here, and this is going to be an important one for Kenya. They've already lost a couple, and And this time they don't. That's very well executed. And Sando Malcolm picks it up. Kenya continuing. Mukamiti. And fly off there. Song Abdallah and Kenya trying to break into the lines there.
Well done.
And there is a knock-on by Kenya, and so they cede possession to Namibia. And this is the kind of a setback that you don't want, especially for a Kenyan fan that is watching, hoping that their team can get back into this game.
Yeah, Kenya needs to protect the ball a lot better. They need to make sure that they keep possession if they want to continue and build pressure and build phases on Namibia. You can't afford to give them easy turnovers like that. They should work for the ball, and Kenya giving away those makes it a lot harder. Of course, Belda Dogeta there, normally a good carry of the ball, but this time round having to lose possession to the Namibians, and perhaps they get the opportunity to exit their half.
That is true, and at a point where you felt that maybe Kenya had a bit of momentum.
Yes, we will be beating in a piece now that we have a
The kinds of setbacks that kill the spirit. But now they have a scrummage to contest here. And they challenge the Namibians as Theron Jacques, shot number 9, the scrum half, prepares to feed the ball into scrummage. And they pick the ball quite well. Namibia doing quite well and breaking up the lines, and good play by Alcino Isaacs, shot 13. Theron. Theron kicks for territory here. It's going to be well fought for, and Kenya win it back, and that's good play with Song Abdallah, the flyer. Robinson. Kenya, just look at the tackling of the Namibians that just holds back Kenya's Obonyo, Orege. 6 minutes already played in this second half. That's the big man for Kenya there, Ongera Okeyo. Each time that he gets the ball, you expect him to run into a few bodies there and gets them onto the ground, giving Kenya some bit of advantage. That's a tackle there on Kenya's Ogeta. Peter, 14.
Michael Wanjala trying to speed up the ball movement.
Yeah, and that's a very good break up of that as Rachel Ongera picks it up, but then Namibia attempting a turnover here, but Kenya resist the onslaught of Namibia as Obonyo Orege, Kenya. It's up into the space, and now it's shot number 6, and that's Juma Clinton. But then Namibia strip the ball, but then the whistle goes. Must have been
yeah, there was
earlier infringement.
Earlier infringement. There was a high tackle
on a Kenyan
on a Kenyan player, and it's going to go back advantage to the Kenyans.
Is it going to be a penalty to Kenya?
Clinton Odhiambo. Juma not resulting in advantage. Referee calls back. Play toward a penalty to Kenya.
Just trying to find where the exact mark was, and then a good kick there for touch.
By Barry Robinson.
Kenya so far bossing this half.
They've got the line out.
Both in possession, territory, and the scoreboard.
Ogoa, Musila.
However, they will bossing where
Did not start the previous game against Algeria.
That kind of bossing.
Kind of a shock result that Kenya suffered in midweek, considering how far Algeria is ranked in World Rugby. For them to have pulled off that result was a huge one. It appears to be a change by Namibia as shot 6. Peter is taken off, and Kenya lose the line out again. Now Namibia come again, Quiron, Majet. Namibia continuing to control Chino Isaacs. Continuing to keep ball quite well. Theron Jacques. Fine on the far side, fine. Jacobs Lloyd got a try in the first half. They are doing a good job in keeping the ball. As Ball.
Yeah, good turnover there by the Kenyans. Just exploiting the lazy support at the ruck and gathering the ball, getting the penalty, and much the advantage. Barry Robinson will be looking to go for distance as far as he can and touch as well. Good touch by Barry Robinson. Straight kick off the leg and inside the 22-meter area over Namibia. Very, very good and very good attacking platform there for Kenya. The Simbas need to have their set piece okay. They need to have their hands sticking and everything on point. They need to pile on the pressure on Namibia.
This would be an important, very significant time in this game if Kenya can get a try from this move. It will be a huge boost for them. Goa and Kenya keep ball quite well there. Clinton Juma now finds Amiti. Continue to pile on the pressure. And Ongera has been very important to Kenya. Barry Robinson, but then a big steal there by the Namibians, and it is an offside, was it?
Yeah,
was an earlier infringement.
I think
No, it was an earlier infringement.
Kenya was playing advantage and they're going back to the penalty. However, the referee is not pleased about something that has been repetitive. But look at how he read that pass. And
Yeah, that was a good read. But,
that was such a great intercept. Shame that we're not going to have a try off that.
Yeah, definitely.
Kenya let off the hook. Let off the hook, but then some last warnings issued by the referee to the Namibians.
So Kenya going for the penalty.
Yeah, I think it is still a bit early. That penalty will help them in perhaps adding some extra points and cutting into the lead. I think with that it will be less than half the deficit of Namibia's score.
Song Abdallah has the responsibility of getting 3 points added to Kenya's tally, and he does well. Executes the penalty. And it is 15 Kenya, 26 Namibia. With quite some time to play as another substitution is made here. We'll get a confirmation as shot number 22 Namibia, Karuombe is introduced. Nandi
Karumbe is one of those aside in the previous game that lost to Zimbabwe, this time coming off the bench. Many of the teams, of course, have come in with relative changes, maybe perhaps some fresh legs needed after 2 intense match days, but also strategy and tactical changes as well that have been brought into the team, as of course there's a substitution for Kenya as well.
Yeah, shot 14 for Namibia. That is Majet Quiron, who scored their first try in the first half, has been taken off, as also Kenya make another change. We'll get a confirmation shortly. Really interesting to see Majet being taken off, and it's a penalty to Kenya.
Yeah, silly mistakes there, silly penalties given away by the Namibians there at ruck time. And Barry Robinson looking to yet again find good touch there, but really the Namibians not having a proper clear out there at the ruck, and the referee gives away the penalty.
It's going to be a line out for Team Kenya's Mbugua. Calls for a ball replacement here. Kenyans looking determined there. Look at the body language. Not about to give up on this one. There is a knock on Kenya, so it's going to be ball to Namibia. That ball seemed to be there for the taking, especially for Kenya. I just felt that maybe there was a bit of laxity there on the attempt to win in that line out.
Yeah, definitely. A relatively good throw, and then a knock-on in the attempt to gather by Kenya before, of course, they tried to get it on the second attempt, but those are the kind of things that you really need to avoid if you're trying to issue a comeback. And the Simbas will know that their set pieces should always be perfect and should always be gathered comfortably. And now possession is back with Namibia.
Picked up there in the scrummage by Caron Jacques. Playing well with Boyson Adrian. It's a penalty to Namibia. An infringement, and Namibia are going for poles.
They're going for touch this time round. Denzel Brewer choosing that perhaps this is a bit beyond his range of kicking for goal. So he chooses to find some extra meters. Maybe if he gets another penalty now, he can point to the posts.
It's going to be a line out for Team Namibia. As Oche Obat had an injury scare in the first half. Shot number 2, the hooker of Namibia.
Kenya brings on the bomb squad.
Gets prepared.
Emptying the bench.
The line out, and Namibia do well. Now it's time for the ball to do its job for Namibia. Can they push Kenya back to the try line? And they're trying to get the ball in, and that's Obat. Kenya also trying to turn over the ball. Namibia still maintain control. Trying to force the issue, trying to go for a try here as Ludik Ruan goes down, and Kenya do a good job in forcing a penalty here. And Namibia just did not release the ball while on the ground, and now Kenya trying to rush them back here. Bonyo Orego tackled Wanjala. He finds his mate here, and that is Sefuna Eugene, one of the substitutes, playing as a prop, and then they break up the Kenyan lines here, and that's a substitute for Namibia. Karuombe Nandi will not miss from there, and that was out of the blue.
Yeah, definitely there. Kenya getting the penalty, getting the opportunity to really do something. Then the ball is knocked on, and then on the counter, yet again, we have seen what Namibia can do off the counter, and then Nandi Karumbe just having the legs to go all the way and no Kenyan in sight to stop him.
Namibia now on 31.
As you can see, the
pass in,
beautiful grabber kick.
Yeah.
And Nandi Karumbe gathers well.
Kenya were really very porous at that point. They just couldn't stop that onslaught from Namibia.
Yeah, definitely. They were in attack and then, of course, losing the ball. So they didn't have enough time to transition into their defensive patterns. And they were caught flat-footed. And the grabber kick behind by, of course, the fullback, Fonda, Nandi Karumbe. And for many that see those kicks, of course, it is not just a sense of a kick that is that just happens by chance. It is a kick that is trained on the grounds in the training sessions, and that grabber kick went through. Nandi Karumbe gathers and scores, and the conversion is good. Namibia really extending their lead in this one.
Well, that puts Kenya in such a difficult spot now as they're trying to get back into this one. The deficit now is 18. This leaves them with a high mountain to climb. Namibia's doing a good job in keeping the ball here.
Yeah, good turnover there by Kenya. As of course they find themselves particularly open, and they pounce on that isolated ball carrier from Namibia, and yet again get another turnover. And their intent this time, they're not going for points, they're going for the penalty, the line out, and perhaps it can have a different set of results this time round. A lot of changes have come on, of course, especially in the front row. This is predominantly the one that has been starting match day 1 and match day 2, and their experience is going to be key.
And they do well there as Sefuna Eugene, with 2 tries already, shot 16 for Kenya. Just put on as a substitute, is already making his mark as Ochengo Diambo picks it up. Michael Wanjala finds a passing to find Obat Kuke. trying to find the space, but can they? And there's a drop ball there, knock on again. And this time, that will really, really hurt the Kenyans, because they seem to have had the Namibians in the position that they wanted them in. And then instead, they lose the ball as Barry Robinson just drops a clang, I should say.
Yeah, man, it's really unfortunate to watch on the Kenyan side, not able to really keep that ball well, and they can't afford that in this particular second half when they are trying to look for every point they can garner, giving possession back to Namibia. We have seen this particular picture, I should say, after a knock-on, and it's a scrum to Namibia, who will be looking to now exit their half. Big scrum, however, by Kenya. Referee says that perhaps there's going to be a reset, this time not giving out a penalty. He has been one that for every penalty you get, you have to work for it. It's not just a matter of handing out something to you.
But I thought that the Namibians raised up, and
from the perspective of the referee, both teams raised up at the same time, and it was mutual. So he opts to go for the reset instead of giving advantage to one side. He then will observe this one a lot more closely, and then perhaps see who is the originator of the infringement.
Of course, the pushing going on before the referee had permitted it.
Yeah, Ali Shav, you know, the front rows are always trying to see how to get one up against the other, and sometimes, you know, they say anything is legal as long as the referee doesn't see it. So sometimes you just get in that extra few shoves before he says engage, and sometimes the referee sees you, sometimes it works out. So it's just the nature of the game. It's called the dark arts of the scrum.
20 minutes to go. Namibia leading 33-15. The ball is fed in here by Theron Jack. Scrum off, and he finds that pass to his teammate there, Chino Isaacs. They gain territory here. Again, Jax now finds Retief Johan from Namibia. The lock. Shot number 4. Namibia slowing the game a bit here. I guess then they can't be in a hurry, and then Theron Jack kicks for territory. Can they contest? And yes, a ball is well picked up by Karuombe of Namibia, but Kenya turn it over. Now he's the big man here in Mokamiti Musonye. Kenya do a good job there. Good dummy there. They continue to pile up here, and Sifuna Eugene.
Advantage there to Kenya.
Good pass in to find Robinson, but then that is Richel Wanjira, but just couldn't get to the ball before the Namibians had gathered.
Yeah, advantage not gained there by the Kenyans, and it's going to go back to the penalty, where perhaps they'll get another opportunity to find touch. You would think that at the centimeter mark, it's a bit too far for them to attempt a shot at goal, but yeah, this is the kind of momentum that Kenya needs. But however, they need to make every opportunity they get count at this point. Of course, with about you could say 18 minutes or so to go, they need to do better. They need to go harder. And of course, Namibia will be in no hurry. Namibia is trying to manage the game. Namibia is trying to play territory. And with 33 points and having more than half of what Kenya has, they feel like they have 1 foot forward in finishing third in this particular tournament. Great tournament here in Uganda, of course, as the fans in the background are there. But Kenya, if they want to really have something realistic in this particular game, it needs to start with this set piece.
And Sifuna Eugene with the responsibility to throw the ball in at the line out for Kenya. Namibia about to make a substitution at their front row, and I guess Obat right there, shot to is out, and he's replaced by Van Wyk Herschel.
Has been busy.
Van Wyk shot 16, he's on.
Yeah, a bit of fresh legs there necessary as Obat Noje has really been instrumental for Namibia, but Ashraf van Wyk comes on to try and see off this game. Of course, with close to 15 minutes now to go, it's going to be interesting to see if Kenya has another gear in them to maybe do something in this game.
You need to take something extraordinary, and they do well there on the line out as Sando Malcolm picks it up, and Kenya trying to force the ball over the line here. Not that Namibia are about to relent. The ball seems to be unplayable at this point. It's Kenya trying to pick it up, and it is Sefuna Eugene trying to get it out there. And it seems like Kenya getting ever closer to getting that try in. Take a bit of real brute strength here, but also some fine technique as they push their way over the line. Can they get it there? Namibia not allowing Kenya to get anywhere close to that try line, and again Kenya finding the resistance of the Namibians. Still, Namibia doing a good job defensively to keep Kenya at bay.
Resolute defense there by the Namibians.
Yeah, and that's a try for Kenya eventually, as it is completed by that man, shot number.
It's a try by Ephraim Oduo. I know the cameras are showing us the captain, George Nyambua, but Ephraim Oduo should be the one that has dotted down that one. We'll get, of course, our confirmations from the technical team. But, yeah, that's the pressure that Kenya needs. And they scored in the middle of the post, so that makes it easier for the kicker.
Yeah, to get the conversion right.
Yeah, Barry Robinson adding the extras. That's a crucial 7 points for Kenya, taking them into the 20s. 22 now, 33, 11 points yet again. But they can't afford to just leave it that way. They need to score yet again. As Namibia now in a position where they're receiving all the punches, as we're seeing another substitution now in this case for Namibia.
Shot number 17, Jacobs Wikus.
Rugby Championship
Another prop
happening here at
comes
Nelson
on,
Mandela National Stadium in Namboole.
and he replaces the tight head
Hosted by the Uganda Rugby Union.
Chikufa Haitembo, shot number 3.
Union led by Herbert Mensah.
I guess he's definitely done his job quite well.
Yeah, he's had a good tournament and a good outing today. And the coaches have felt that his job is done, and perhaps the substitute can now see off the game.
Another 15 minutes to play here. Still time for Kenya. They will feel with 11 points, that is basically 2 tries.
Yeah, basically they would need 2 tries, maybe one converted, one not converted.
Yeah.
But whatever they choose to do, they need to score next and they need to score quick.
Sponsored by Nile Special. And we thank you.
Not that it will be the easy one to get, because we know how tough the Namibians have been
Event managers,
this afternoon.
Kibo Media.
Definitely, Namibia is not going to make it a walk in the park, as they are really trying to slow the ball down, play their basics, and manage the game, and they can see advantage there.
Led by
Trying to break the lines here, the Namibians, as Jacobs Lloyd gets in to Kenya's 22, continue to share the ball, and then the newly introduced man, that is Van Wyk Asho, using his fresh body to give Kenya a bit of knock here. And then shot number 7, that's Max Katjetko, Namibia. And that is on the blind side, Namibia, and they're playing brilliantly here, and it's definitely gonna be a try by Namibia's shot number 9, who has really worked the socks off the scrum half, Theron Jacques. He fully deserves this, considering how well he's been playing for Namibia this afternoon.
Yeah, Jacques Theron there, just being able to capitalize because of the perfect support lines. But all the credit, of course, goes to the winger, Lloyd Jacobs, who has been able to just show and go, and then also having the liberty to have his hands free and give off the offload, even when the Kenyans were trying to scramble and tackle. As you can see, instead of going on the other side, Jacques Theron coming to the blind side, committing and passing, and then the support line able to gather the step back and the score.
That was intelligent play by the Namibians. That offload was brilliant, especially if you look at how well it was executed between Jacobs Lloyd finding his scrum half, but now that's a miss. Second miss out of 5 that he has scored.
Yeah, out of potentially 6, I think. That is his second miss.
Denzel
Brewer
had a very good boot on this afternoon.
And I see the beauty of having to score so many of your points early and getting those penalties in early is now you have even the luxury of missing some and not having it put you on a lot of pressure. And that is exactly what Denzel Brewer is in, really kicking without any pressure whatsoever, knowing that his team is in the lead. But Kenya, every time they score, Namibia has a response. So really, it's quite a tough situation they are in here.
Namibia trying to kick for territory. Big deep kick coming in from Lau Oela, but it's going to be a line out for Kenya. But one that will not concern Namibia because they have ensured that play is away from their defensive final third. As Namibia steal the line out. Good play there by Namibia in denying Kenya any sort of momentum. Rainbow, and again, very good interplay as Namibia sharing the ball quite expertly here. They secure the ruck. Denzo, and he finds Kawowo. Got one of the tries in the second half. And that's a knock-on from Hasho Van Wyk.
Yeah, good set of phases there by Namibia, but unfortunately they find themselves at that one moment knocking on and giving possession back to Kenya. Namibia has really shown, as we are seeing, of course, the substitution for Kenya. That is Ibrahim Ayo coming on there to confirm who's going off. But yeah, Namibians, as I was saying, that they have that switch in them where they can switch tempo from playing a really slow, really dull game to going very fast. And of course, the man coming off is Ongera Okeo Thomas.
One of those that has really had a good game for Kenya, not one I would have thought that could be taken off. So the lock is off. That's Ongera Okeo. Replaced by Ayo Ibrahim. Fresh legs Kenya needs, I guess, in the last 10 minutes to try and salvage something from this one. Now it's Barry Robinson. Gets the pass in to Ogeta Peter.
Build and quiet.
Then again, Ibrahim Ayo. Looks on the ball there.
Against Kenya.
Instead it gives advantage to Namibia now as Alcino Isaacs with a good pass in to find his teammate Jacobs Lloyd. Denzo. Now Hasho Van Wyk. Ball is turned over by the Kenyans. Namibia trying to retrieve it. Hasho Van Wyk just won't get that ball. For Kenya, Chingo Diambo. Sifuna Eugene. Barry Robinson. Now it's Michelle Wangira of Kenya, but just held back by the Namibians. I guess at this point, with a couple minutes left to play, 9 to be exact, the Namibians are not about to let Kenya to get any kind of flow in their game.
Yeah, definitely. They are pressing them hard and pressing them deep in their half, and Kenya has resolved to not kicking the ball away. They want to play from deep, but that comes with its own challenges. As you can see, one of the Kenyan players has been bundled into touch, and it's going to be advantage to Namibia inside the Kenya half. But Kenya is really trying to play and keep the ball away from the Namibians, because the Namibians are really trying to slow the game and are trying to play a lot of kicking and a lot of frustrating rugby for the Kenyans. The Kenyans trying to see how to counter that as much as possible, and they're trying to do that because, or through keeping ball in hand, even in their own half, a risky tactic, because as you can see, one of their players, yeah, and it's a line out now to Namibia. Namibia, you think they have ticked 80 or 90% of all the tasks that have been given to them today, playing really, really well. The improvement, you can say, from the last time these two teams met, it was quite a big margin, and Kenya were not able to score 22 points between them and Namibia. This time around, they do score the 22 points, and
that's an improvement from 2 years ago, definitely.
yeah. Yet to see if they can add any more points on board and make it a closer game, as of course Namibia is asking questions.
Of course, Namibia's Jacques Theron picks it up again, finds Enzo, and now Karowombe, Nandi. Again, now the lock there. Retif Johan picks it up. Theron Jacques, and now ball in hands of Max Katjetko of Namibia. Denzo, kick pass forward, but goes into touch. It's going to be ball to Kenya.
Yeah, great idea there, but overcooked by Denzo Brewer to try and find Lloyd Jacobs on the wing, but unfortunately it is not successful, and it's going to be advantage, a line out to Kenya from the alternate line where Denzo Brewer kicked.
Sifuna Eugene will dispatch the line out here for Kenya, and they pick it up quite well with a very good and heavy run here coming in from Kenya's shot number 7, but he needs support, and that's Obat Kuke. Can he beat the tackles here? Plays the ball back, but then the ball is picked up by Namibia. They turn it over.
This is the second time that Kenya has been caught sleeping. The first time was in defense.
Get out of the blocks.
The second time was in attack, and they are very, very brilliant break there by the shot number 7. Ernest Obat, and no one in sight to support him. That was so unfortunate.
That should have been a try, taking Kenya to 27 points.
Chance goes a begging for Kenya.
Ayo of Kenya, caught by the Namibians. As they force a turnover, but then the referee says that tackler didn't roll away, so it's a penalty to Kenya. Will they go for pause, or are they going to kick the ball out into touch for a line out?
Yeah, interesting decision making yet to be made. Looks like it's going to be a tap and go. Choosing not to play 50-50 and just start playing, and that is George Namboole leading from the front, the captain.
Kenya go again. They're just not finding Namibia easy here, as Sifuna Eugene gains a few inches into the territory of Namibia. Now Kenya with the breakaway. Can they get the try in? Oh no. Umpire, rather the referee, doesn't award it, and the run-in by Ashihundu Derek seemed to have provided Kenya with a huge prospect here.
Yeah, it is, the referee has called for the timeout so that he can consult with his assistant referee, and from his point of view, of course, here in the Rugby Africa Cup, we are not using the touch match official. The assistant says it's a try, and Derek Ashindu scoring a brilliant try there by Kenya. Of course, they need consultation from the assistant. As I was saying, we don't have TMO in the Rugby Africa Cup, so it is the consultation from the referee of the assistant, and the assistant says try was good, and Kenya gets yet another score.
27 points for Kenya. Can they convert and make it 29? Responsibility falls to the boot of this young man, Barry Robinson. He's got such a tough job to split those balls. Barry Robinson of Kenya. The distance is quite significant, and just doesn't get it close enough.
Score remains 27.
Not having distance, not having distance and direction in that regard. And
27 Kenya, 38 Namibia, 11-point game.
Let's hear it for Team Kenya.
Namibia in no hurry to have the restart with
Let's hear
10
it from
minutes
Team
also
Namibia.
to go. Really, they feel like they have the job done. Of course, Kenya is really trying to put in some pressure, but the Namibians, could they have done enough? Or perhaps, because Kenya needs to score twice.
Yeah. But at this point in the game, you don't think that Namibia can give away too much. As they hold back Kenya here.
Any colors of blue on your outfits?
Not releasing man tackled, so it's penalty to Kenya.
A bit of experience on the pitch. Samson Onsomo has been brought on at scrum half in place of Michael Mandela.
Looking to enter the Namibia half.
That can give them a little
The comeback is still on.
know-how on such situations.
Bronze medal at stake.
Onsomo was the key scrum half when Kenya was really dominant in that Rugby Africa Cup 2022.
Kenya have fought
Reaching the
valiantly
final
this
against
half.
these same opponents, Namibia, but
Bringing
losing in that
within 11.
final and having to go for the repechage to try and qualify for the Rugby World Cup. Unfortunately, they did.
And now, with the charge here coming in from Kenya's Obat Kuke. He finds his mate Nyambua Otieno. Nyambua doing a good job there at scrum half. And pressure coming in from Namibia that pushes the Kenyan attack out now. So it's a line out for Namibia.
Yeah, line out for Namibia. As you can see, they are really taking their time, even having to have a small huddle there between the forwards to discuss what they're going to do at line out.
Yeah, with 2 minutes left to play on the clock. The third and fourth place playoff game is about to be concluded, and Namibia seem to have two hands on the trophy, or rather on that medal, the bronze medal. Well, I wonder if you're the Namibian coach and you won gold 2 years ago, now you've dropped to third. That must feel like a real decline.
I think Alistair Kotse's intentions for this particular tournament were not, of course, winning is evident for the standard that Namibia is on, but the squad he brought was predominantly young and he's trying to really test them at that level, as Alfred Orege making a mess of that very simple opportunity. Just credit to, sometimes they say the kick is as good as the chase, and that chase has really got into the back to Namibia. But like I was saying, there are a lot of youngsters in this Namibia team that he has brought, and his eyes will not necessarily be on this tournament, but on 2025's Rugby Africa Cup, which doubles as a World Cup qualifier. And the goal for them will be to win it all, because that is a direct ticket to the Rugby World Cup, instead of finishing second, where you have to go through the repechage, which is sometimes a very tasking deed, playing nations from other parts of the world, which is quite tough. So he will take his positives and the fact that Namibia has really played well. He has seen the youngsters that can hold it in the tough times, and he will complement them with more of the seniors and make a very good squad.
Namibia trying to execute the maul here, putting pressure on Kenya, but then there was a side entry there by the Kenyans, so it's a penalty as the Huda goes off here. So this should be the last act of this game, as Denzo Brewer definitely kicks it out into touch, and that marks the end of the game, and it doesn't even think about going for balls.
He did consult.
Yes.
on the bench and asking him should he go for the line out, and he got the signal and they told him it's not worth us getting injuries, we already have the win. So he had to just scratch and kick out to end the game. But that is textbook Namibia for you. The Namibia we know that is very clinical, very ruthless, getting the win in this particular one.
Well, at the end of it all, 34th ranked Kenya loses to 23rd ranked Namibia by such a scoreline of 38-27. Well, one could say that from 2 years ago when Kenya lost 36-0, there is a tremendous improvement this time round, and they have given as good as they have got. But Namibia running out with the bronze medal in this Africa Rugby Cup 2024. They came in as favorites to defend their title, but I guess when you go home with the bronze medal, it is better than nothing. And at full time, as we await the final between Algeria and Zimbabwe, Kenya 27, 38 Namibia. We hope you've enjoyed our broadcast. On behalf of Ruben Kihumuro, I remain John Vianney Simbe, your commentator in this Rugby Africa Cup 3rd, 4th place play.
Man of the match, Denzo, sorry. Denzo Brewer, 10. You're welcome next year as well. We look forward to that. It's been an amazing 3 days of rugby. Thank you for making it a spectacle. Namibia team photo. On the banner, team Namibia. Thank you, Mr. Butcher.
In the third place playoff, a little too late, maybe not so much. They will be.
All right, team Namibia, closer. Get closer, get closer. Tight hand. Congratulations, Team Namibia, bronze medalist. Thank you, Mr. Busha. Okay, Bana, let's go. We are ready for the next game. The teams are in the tunnel.